So guys, I know it's been almost 3 weeks since a castle video. It was one of those things where I planned to go to South Carolina for that convention, so I didn't place an order. I ended up not going. I spent more time down here kind of cleaning up the area, which you're not really going to be able to tell now because me cleaning up the area just led me to finding pieces and led me to add them to the castle. There's a bunch of stuff that is improved. It's not really like anything drastic. It's just little things here and there. I got rid of probably around another, I'm going to say about 1,000 pieces probably into the castle in different areas, and then I found stuff to kind of complete trees and everything else once I get more stuff done. One of the other things I've really been contemplating on is if I should put a tree on the actual inside of the castle, and I think I've talked myself out of that. I believe it'll take up too much space for what I want to do, but we did get all these in. It's kind of weird because I've almost spent like $300 or $400 on pretty much dots. This is the second order that we've got in, and as you can tell, there's just like, when it comes to round tiles and single plates, there's a ton of them. My goal with ordering all this is to get the castle grounds complete. It's one of those things that as I was doing it, I wasn't really sure I wanted to do it. I started with like the horse stable, and then I really liked it. I've already done under one of the entrances. I still got to do the second part. I kind of ran out of a bunch of colors that I was using, and I didn't just want to stack reddish brown underneath there. In the meantime, what I done was place this huge order, which will help me put all the grayish and the light bluish gray and the dark bluish gray stones throughout that area and kind of complete it. While doing this, it's made me realize I kind of want to make the blacksmith place bigger. There's still two other things I have to figure out where I'm going to add in here, but I can't really figure out how I'm going to place those until I get all this stuff down. I have an idea of where both of them are going to go, and I know that I have to put studs down to connect stuff, like with the farmer that's selling all of his fruits and vegetables. I've got to figure out how each one of those little stands is going to place, and I've got to build those, which really won't be hard at all. It's literally just a kind of a 4-post thing that the boxes are going to sit in, and then I'm not even sure if I'm going to put a roof over his thing. There might be like a small canopy type thing, but it won't be like the other roofs for the stables and the blacksmith. It'll be something a lot smaller. And the other thing I want to add in there is still kind of a surprise to everybody. I've kind of been on the fence about it because it is actually pretty violent, but I'm going to do it anyway. It's just one of those things that there's going to be so much stuff by the time this is done that it's kind of pushing the boundaries already. So let's stop there. Let's go ahead and get all this thrown in, and let's just kind of see where we go. So while laying these tiles and plates down, I wanted to make sure there was no pattern to this, and it was really just a bunch of random things everywhere. I really wanted the majority of the pieces to be light bluish gray, but I started adding these dark pearl gray and some of these other silver colors like in the round plates, and I think it really gives it a good rock look. Especially with all the other colors that I've added, it kind of gives that good contrast against it. I also wanted to make sure that the 2x2s and the 1x2s are what tied the base plates together. That way it would hold them firmly up against each other and not have any kind of spaces. I know a lot of people have told me this process looks absolutely painful and tiring, but I promise this actually went a lot faster than even I thought it would. One of the hardest parts was this, to just kind of make sure that there wasn't a certain kind of piece too close to each other everywhere. Like I said, I really wanted it to look random. I really wanted the majority of the piece to be the 1x1 light bluish gray round tile. I wanted it, I think that it looks good. A lot of people use it, but as I started adding in these studs and everything else, I seen how it really changed the aspect and how it really gave it that good kind of not flat look. One of the big upsides to this is all these studs give me endless possibilities that I can attach things to also, which is really good when building a MOC. Now as I place this last piece, I can finally stand back and really take in exactly how this looks, and man, this thing looks awesome. I'm absolutely in love with the way this turned out. I love the rocky look down to the dirt and the mud being tracked in, and I think this is absolutely perfect for what I was going for. I do want to say one thing. I ordered these January, I think it was 16th, and I just now got these Bardings in. I'm actually kind of upset with Lego about that. I've contacted them like 5 times about it, and apparently me and 4 other people that I know placed the order all on the same day, including Shy, and everybody seemed to have got their like other orders before the first orders, and it was just one of those things that it kind of ticked me off. Lego did do some things to help me out, but it was like I know they're trying to get the process of buying stuff off of Pick a Brick better, but there was just really a lot of lost communication in this, I'm gonna say. But I am happy I got them. It's over with. I needed them at a certain time, but now I really don't. The time has been pushed back to June. The next step in all this is to continue to go in and start adding detail within the castle grounds. Kind of stuff where like the blacksmith is. Like I said, I'm going to expand that and add a bunch more to it. I really want to cover up that whole back corner. I still got to get the farmer stuff in there. There's a couple little things I want to put in there, and I really want to add a bunch of detail. Remember, there is going to be a war going on, so there will be a bunch of people kind of everywhere running and stuff like that. The whole top of the wall is kind of already planned out. I have an idea of how I'm going to really figure that out, but I really need to get that whole top section kind of nailed 100% off. By that, I mean while adding all this rock work, I have really realized that I do not like how the castle walls and everything up top with the walkways, the inside, I don't like the way it has studs showing. I've tiled all the interior and I have pretty much covered all that rock work outside, so it's one of those things that if it's studs showing, I don't really like it that much. So what I plan to do is go in and add a bunch of other detail items to kind of show the top of the rock wall. I've got some ideas with that. I've got a lot of the pieces here to start, but there is also a ton of the pieces that I used in that section kind of on the inside of the castle ground, so I will be ordering more of that. Now while I'm ordering all that and doing all this, I do have a bunch of brick left over, so I am going to continue building that last wall with the last 2 towers, and be going to put some interior in those as well. I know the next step is that second floor, or third floor if you want to call it, but I really need to buy tons of bricks. I need more of the modified bricks for that. I've got tons of these masonry bricks, but I don't have any more with studs on the side. I plan to do a bunch of stained glass, and I've got, I think, like all the pieces I need for that actually. I will be going and continue building those sections as well. That way all that is done and I know that that is out of the way. I did happen to get in the second order that came in while I was kind of filming and building 4 more orcs. I think I'm done with the orcs. Before I order anything else as far as figure wise, I really need to finish dressing up the falcons with armor and more weapons. One of the things is I really don't have any more of the helmets I really want to keep using. One of the things I do not like about it is the helmets that I have. I've kind of done and put some on some soldiers where they really don't belong, if that makes sense. Like archers have too big of helmets, their bows technically hit it. So what I probably am going to do is start all over on the army, pull the helmets off and just kind of redress everybody. But I still need to focus on getting normal citizens. I've got orcs, I've got the opposing army, I've got the falcons, I've got tons of other figures that are just kind of hid in different places, but they're all kind of like soldiers or another army type thing. I really need to get a bunch of civilians for in here. I still don't have a king, and one of the other things I really need to finish up is getting parts for the ballistas for the top of the towers. I did get some of the stuff here to continue on some of them, but I have like 6 of them I'm planning to do, and I think that I have enough pieces to maybe only build 1. A lot of the stores I'm using don't have all of the pieces, so I'm having to kind of buy them across, and I don't want to just order parts for a ballista. So what I've been doing is while I'm searching for parts for the ballista, I'm clearing people out of those 1x2s with studs on the side, and I'm clearing them out of the light bluish gray ingots. Now the ingots are one of the things that I did realize most people sell them things for like 10-15 cents, somewhere around that area, and you can go to Lego's website and I think they're like 5 cents a piece. So I will be continuing to order those through Lego, and they are a bestseller, so they should not take as long as the Bardings did. Like I said, I'm going to continue going through and kind of clearing off this table and doing nothing but this army. I'm going to set them all up and see what all I do have and what all I can complete. One of the things I will be doing is going and adding studs everywhere where certain things will sit. By that I mean like soldiers and stuff like that. I had an idea a long time ago when I was building this city, and it was supposed to be set up a certain way that whenever you go to a convention, you don't really want to sit there all day and kind of figure out where stuff's supposed to be. So what I'm going to do is since everybody is in my unit, I'm going to assign certain units a certain color and place those color studs. That way when I get to a convention, I can just literally pop the stud off, put the minifig there, and I know it's exactly where it needs to be. That minifig is assigned that color. That way when I take it all apart, I just put them back with that color. So it's going to be one of those things that I think makes things really, really easy. And I'm probably going to start doing that as I start laying all that work on top of the castle walkway. But I would like to thank all of y'all for sticking with me through this process. I'm sorry it's taken so long to get all this done, but we have continued to go. Like I said, I've got tons of pieces here. I'm going to start putting all this in for the video that's going to come out after army video, because I do need to do one of those. I've literally just got minifigs sitting in tubs, and I need to go ahead and kind of uniform them all up and get that going. But I would like to thank everybody for watching. If you haven't yet, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, comment down below, let me know what you think. I know what you're going to say. You're going to be like, man, screw the artwork. You just kind of blew that out, because that's what everybody's saying. And I know the artwork sets have taken some people some time, but at least this one I didn't have to follow instructions, and there was no right or wrong place to put things. But thanks again. Peace.